Hey guys, I was just recently asked by someone, how in the world do you cut through all the noise? There is so much noise out there that every time I do a blog article, I do a social media post, nothing happens. And you know what? I can appreciate that. The truth of the matter is, as Mark Schaefer said in his book called The Content Code, that supply and demand is stripping away the power of content marketing, meaning that there is so much great content being created, so much great content being generated that we're having a harder time getting people to see our content. So let me share a couple of things that you can do today to cut through the noise. These are all things that I do myself, and they're things that absolutely work. So the first thing you have to do is you have to create the foundation of your business. You've got to create the perception of your business. In other words, how does your consumer see your business? How do they understand your business? How do they relate to your business? How do they see as what you're doing as relevant to their needs or their problems or their desires? This is critical. This is the absolute base foundation that you should be walking into your business with. And one of the problems that we're having when it comes to any kind of marketing, quite frankly, is that we are so busy creating content that we're not thinking about how that content applies to the audience. Now, your content may be fabulous, but it's just not being seen because people aren't taking it and sharing it across all of these other platforms at an accelerated, incredible rate. And that's because the foundation is off in your business. The message simply doesn't exist for the audience. So we've got to quit thinking about ourselves, and we have to think about who the audience is and how do we create really highly relevant, highly specific content for one person, solve one problem, need, or desire, and give them a solution to whatever that problem, need, or desire is. Now, the next thing is, and this is really critical, folks, is you've got to get out there and you've got to network online. You've got to engage. You've got to go find those people that can help you accelerate your message. But before you get them to accelerate your message, you've got to do some things for them. See, we would think about networking upside down, both offline and online. We go into these things thinking about what can I get out of it. And I coined a little phrase the other day that said, ask not what you can, let me get this right. That's helpful, isn't it? But it says something like this: ask not what your audience can do for you, but what can you do for your audience? You know, JFK had that so right when he was thinking about this in terms of our nationalism. But what about in terms of your audience? It's not about what they can do for you, it's about what you can do for them. So that means you have to think about those in terms of a networking environment as well, right? Only 20% of all the people you're ever going to meet is going to buy from you if you're really good at what you do. Now, you can get those numbers up for sure, but realize not everybody's going to buy from you. So the thing is, how do you find those people that have access to the audience that you serve, but they serve them in a very different way than you do? How do you connect with them? How do you give them value? How do you position yourself to them as being relevant and authoritative? Because if you do that, then what's going to happen is they're going to take your message and they're going to propel it out. So let me give you a couple of ideas about how you can get on their radar. Number one, be sure that you're leaving comments on their blog that are highly relevant to the articles that they're writing and that you're giving them value. And I always define value as solving one problem for one person and meet one need. It's the same base thing again over and over that you're going to hear from me. If you do that for them and you give them ideas about how to propel their message, how to propel their ideas, you're going to create value for them. Number two, be sure to share it liberally on social media. And here's the cool thing. Reach out to some other people and ask those people that you have existing relationships with to propel that content on their social media pages. Don't just put it out there and then nothing happens. It's going to look so much better to that person that you want to network with if other people are liking, commenting, or sharing that article across your social platforms. And then finally, and just as critically, include them in your blog, include them in your content, give them some other value above and beyond, and show them that you're really, really interested in connecting with them. If you want to cut through the noise, and if you really want to see engagement happen on your website and on your social media, it starts with you having a clear message that's concise and relevant to your audience. And it also includes connecting with those who serve the same audience you do, but in a different way, giving them value and giving them a reason to engage with your content and sending your content out to their audience. Now, I want to be really clear about this before I close. And this is really important. We forget this. We think that the internet is this great tool that can do this thing for me overnight. And can it? Yes, it can. But will it? Probably not. The internet, again, as I said when I started this video, it's saturated with content. Breaking through the noise means it's going to take some time. And it's going to take consistency, and it's going to take effort. But if you give it the time and the consistency and the work required to break through, once you do, you won't look back, because your goal is to build a community around you. And if you build a community, remember I said, ask not what your followers can do for you, but what you can do for your followers, or interchange that word with prospects or customers or whatever you want, right? If you can position yourself to give them value and they become loyal to you, then the sky is the limit. But that choice is up to you. You get out of it what you put into it. Long gone are the days when you just post your stuff on the internet and it can go viral. Those days are coming to an end. It's maturing. And if you're going to grab an organic audience, then you're going to have to pay for it somehow. And that paying for it comes in your time. So think about that just a little bit. Now, if you have a comment on this, I'd love to hear it. You can leave it on YouTube, Facebook. You can retweet this on Twitter. You can, it'll be on Facebook as well. So, and eventually it'll show up on my blog. And if it's already on the blog, then it'll be here in the link on the video. So, I'm looking forward to engaging with you. Engage with me. If you want to cut through the noise, let's cut through the noise together. But cutting through the noise by yourself, not going to happen.